When many think of the UK, often the imagination is dominated by cosmopolitan cities, London, Manchester, Edinburgh, the list goes on. But have you ever wondered, what's there beyond urban hustle and tourist traps? England's true spirit lives in its countryside, a world of rolling green hills, charming villages and time-honoured traditions. It's a part of the UK that seems like walking into a fairy tale, an escape into tranquility, natural beauty and a way of life that's stunningly slow. Intrigued? Let's take a closer look at this hidden gem, the idyllic environment. Let's take a minute for the countryside. It's like walking into a painting. Imagine expansive rolling meadows and seemingly infinite wooded landscapes. A respite, literally, from the concrete jungles of cities. The countryside is more than just pretty views. It's alive with an incredible number of plants and animals that make it a dream destination for nature fans. And if you've ever gotten up early enough to hear the morning birds sing, then you know what I'm talking about. It's like the whole world just pauses in a moment of peace. Those hedges and stone walls you see everywhere, they're not just for show. Most of them are older than we know, marking boundaries for eons and serving as mini ecosystems for birds and small creatures. In spring, they explore with colour, wildflowers blooming and adding to that magical countryside vibe. And then there are the rivers, manically twisting through the land and cities. They're more than scenic, they animate everything around them and provide ideal places for fishing, picnics, or simply sitting and taking it all in. And if you go further out, you'll encounter forests and hills where deer, foxes and other wildlife roam. It's like walking into a different world where nature reigns supreme. Oh, and there's also the air. It's crisp, clean and comes with a soft freshness that feels like a long detox. Each season brings its own beauty here. Frost-kissed meadows sparkling in winter, the fiery hues of autumn leaves. Your idea of summer is always a picture. Historic charm. The English countryside isn't just gorgeous views, it's an abundance of stories and history. Do you know what one of those quaint, thatched roof cottages look like? They look like they belong in a fairy tale, don't they? But they're not just scenic. These straw room cozy vibes abodes have been around for centuries. Think about the generations upon generations of families who've called this place home, each contributing to its narrative. And then there's a fun little nugget. Ever heard of the purple door superstition? A house with a purple door is said to have belonged to a witch. Whether true or not, it absolutely laces a little mystery into the charm, no? Now to Branford-on-Avon. This spot is heaven on earth for history enthusiasts. While you amble down the town, in addition to gorgeous Tudor and medieval architecture surrounding you, the feeling of having traveled through time. One destination you can't miss is the Bridge Tea Room. Will it be the tea you serve? Though the scones are heavenly, it's the experience. The building itself feels as if it has 1,000 stories of its own. With its Tudor-style design, you sit there sipping tea and you can't help picturing the hundreds of thousands of people who've done the same across centuries. And then there's Winchester, England's first capital. Just think about walking around a place that has been so much history. Well, the Winchester Cathedral is stunning. Its soaring Gothic arches and complex details serve to remind us of the craftsmanship and devotion of a distant era. And Winchester Castle, it's like being transported into a legend. The Great Hall contains the legendary Round Table, inspiring stories of King Arthur and his knights. This is the kind of setting that sparks the imagination, conjuring images of sword fights, royal gatherings, and ancient ceremonies. Even the minutiae are wonderful. The cobblestoned alleys, the stone bridges, the old storefront, they all have stories from another time to tell. You can imagine medieval traders carrying their wares or villagers meeting to swap news by the waterside. The charm lies in the details, and it's hard to not feel some connection to those who tread these paths long before us. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like the video, and let us know which place in the English countryside you love the most. Leisure and lifestyle. There is a beautiful kind of life in the countryside, and it's a mood. Imagine a peaceful pasture with grazing horses, or riding horseback on trails through forests and meadows. Horse riding here is more than a pastime, it's a legacy and an excellent way to soak in the breathtaking surroundings. Then there are the country lanes, charming, twisting ways that take you through lovely villages and surprise you with hidden gems at every turn. Maybe you'll discover a centuries-old church or a quiet riverside spot with a great view for a picnic. And at the center of it all, local pubs. These are not just your average bars, they are the lifeblood of the neighborhood, with hearty dishes, roaring fireplaces, and locals who'll smile on you like an old friend. Pubs are where tales are exchanged and memories are created. Markets in the countryside are something else. They're filled with fresh produce, handmade crafts, and the smiling faces of those who create them. It's not merely shopping, it's an experience, a connection to the community and sense of rural life pulse. Peaceful living. You'll notice it in the moment you step into the countryside, the quiet. Not the sort of quiet where there's no honking or power tools operating, but a deeper, almost therapeutic stillness. Rather than the cacophony of city living, you'll hear birds singing their morning songs, rivers trickling and leaves rustling in the soft wind. And let's talk about safety. Crime? Practically non-existent. It's the kind of place where leaving your doors unlocked feels perfectly normal. Imagine the kind of trust and comfort that comes with that. Here, simplicity is the ultimate luxury. Nostalgic touches like hand-painted shingle board signs guide you to local homes and businesses, giving the area a timeless storybook charm. The riversides, with their serene beauty, are perfect for whatever your heart desires, whether it's a morning stroll, a peaceful fishing spot, or just sitting by the water, letting your thoughts drift with the current. What makes life here so special in the pace? It's slower, yes, but not in a bad way. It's slower in the let's save a moment kind of way. You get to connect with nature, with your neighbors, and most importantly, with yourself. Mundane activities suddenly feel meaningful. Gardening becomes a meditative act. Hanging laundry quiet joy. It's about living in harmony with your surroundings, finding beauty in the ordinary, and experiencing mindfulness in the simplest task. Evenings in the countryside are magical too. As the sun dips low, casting golden light across the fields, life winds down in the best way. Families gather around dinner tables, neighbors stop for a chat, and the local pub becomes a cozy hub of laughter and camaraderie. There's no rush, no endless list of things to do, just a genuine enjoyment of life as it is. Unique spots and stories. Each village and town in the countryside has its own particular story to tell. Bradford-on-Avon is a prime example. With its verdant riverside views and deep history, it's a place that feels frozen midstream. The Bridge Tea Room is definitely worth a visit, not simply for the tea, but to experience what it's like to be in a piece of living history. The architecture, the atmosphere, the warm scones, the whole thing is indelible. And then there's the Shambles, those narrow medieval streets where you'll feel the past in the air. As you walk in them, you can almost hear the chatter of the merchants and the clip-clop of the horse-drawn carts. It's a piece of history preserved for 21st century explorers. There are the riversides too, as another highlight. They are not merely decorative, they are the lifeblood of the countryside. Whether you're fishing, having a picnic, or just sitting by the water, there's a peacefulness that's hard to find anywhere else. Wholesome countryside festivals to visit, whether celebrating the harvest or participating in local craft fairs. These festivals draw on the unique traditions and creativity of rural communities. You may come across folk music performances, storytelling sessions, or even sheepdog trials that give insights into life on the farm. Against the backdrop of the urban grind, the English rural life offers a sense of freshness. Where cities are outlined by fast pace, crowded streets, and unceasing noise, the country was a place of peace and ordinary. In a timber world, a space where you can slow down time, breathe deeply, savor the moment, and reconnect with what really matters. So, when planning your next trip to the UK, don't limit yourself to the big city sites and tourist traps. Mention a gem lesser known to the common man. Hidden in the heart of England, the countryside where tranquility, history, and beauty meets a picturesque state. That would have us all springing to action straight into a storybook. It's not a destination so much as a reminder of the best things in life, which are often the simples.